Average at Best Cornhole here. Now, I'm pretty excited to talk about these two series I have here from Rocket Bags. Now, they are both a hybrid material and they are both ACO stamped. I have the 0 hour and the ground control. Now, if you're familiar with the channel, I do like to make a lot of shorts. What I do is I grab the good rounds and the good shots from all the throw videos that I record and then make shorts from them. And I will say that after editing and cutting up the throw videos, I had way more possibilities of making shorts with these two series than I have other ones. I want to start out with materials. And the ground control, it does have that popular hybrid material you would find on the Guardian, the Dart, or the Wolverine. And then it's paired with the fast side, which is the Viper Pro Sniper fast side. 0 hour, on the other hand, it has the R hybrid and it has the Surefire Wizard fast side. Now, the fast sides are the same material, it's just different sides of the fabric. The faster one is a little bit smoother, the slower one, it is a little bit coarser. So that gets me right into speeds. Hybrid materials, I mean, they play pretty consistent. We all have a good range for them. I know Rocket Bag, it calls the ground control a 5.9 and the 0 hour a 5.8. That's pretty common for the fast sides, pretty common for the hybrids also. I do believe that the Guardian Wolverine slow side hybrid does play a touch slower than the Viper R slow side. Discussing templates, the ground control, this has your standard template. People would call that a medium, and it has, about a medium amount of fullness. 0 hour, it is a little bit smaller of a template. It is a little bit fuller too, so I don't know if that's what shrunk the template down some, or maybe the ground control did stretch a little bit more. But the 0 hour, it is fuller. Ground control, a tad bit larger and a little bit looser. According to the website, the fill on both of these bags is the same. They call it their Pro Mix fill, which said it's a mix of flats and small rounds. It's a lot more flats. You do fill the rounds, but I would consider them more of like a filler bead, because I think that they wanted the bags to remain pretty forgiving. The filler beads, those little small rounds that kind of blend in with the flats, what that does is, it stops the pellets from settling when it's on the board or it's going by the hole. I think that was the whole point of that. And as I said, by the template, ground control is a little bit looser, so it's going to be a little bit more floppier than what the 0 hour is, because it is a little bit more fuller. But I would not consider either one of these bags overly floppy. Before I get to the slide up, I just want to ask you to take the time to subscribe to the channel if you do enjoy the content and like the video. That really shows YouTube that I'm doing well, and it's going to give me the opportunity to keep putting out content and getting these bags to review for you. I'm going to give you a highlight and a low light of each series, and I'm going to start with the 0 hour. And the highlight of it is its whole bodiness. The fill in there, the pellets, with those little round filler beads, I really think they're in there just to stop the pellets from shifting so they can still move around inside the bag. And if you get that close to the hole, it has that extra speed. It'll swing around, but they also fall easily. And if you do put one up short, or you do have a hanger off the side, it doesn't take much to get that bag to fall the rest of the way in the hole. The low light on it, and this really isn't a knock on the bag, but when I got them brand new and felt them in the fullness, and I'm familiar with those materials, I really thought the bag was going to be a little bit more active than what it is. I struggled a little bit to get some good cut shots with this bag. And like I said, that's not a knock on the bag. It's just me understanding its playability. It's much better just running holes and doing slight cuts and whatnot to find the hole than it is to really try to shape your shots with it. The highlight of the ground control is that it kind of contradicts itself, because it is a forgiving bag, but it is also active. And what's good about that is that the bag is loose enough and large enough that you can get a little bit more aggressive on your cuts, trying to aim for that back side of the hole, knowing that the bag could hang over, catch, and then drop. I really like that about that bag. The low light of it, though, is how much more is it going to stretch? Because I do feel that it stretched more than the 0 hour, and these are pretty well broken in. We've been throwing them a ton, but I don't know if it's going to stretch too much and get too unplayable too quick. Like I've been talking about it, these are some pretty forgiving bags. I know they do have that mixed fill, and it does give them a little bit of action, but I think the beads, you know, the filler beads or small rounds, whatever they are, they're small enough that blend in with those flats that it's not going to kick on you a ton when you throw this bag. They still act like they might be all flats, but I really think those little filler beads are tending to the whole bodiness and, you know, not letting those pellets settle. To get in a little bit more detail on the whole bodiness, they're kind of opposite in my mind, and I'll try to explain that. I feel that the 0 hour, it's more of a static whole bodiness. Yes, you can run bags with this. Yes, they will catch the hole. Yes, they will fall, but it's better if you do get a hang up or you do put one a little bit shorter, one off to the side, but it's still kind of hanging in the hole a little bit. It's easier to get that one moving again and get the pellets shifted and the weight into the hole so they fall. The ground control in my mind was more of a dynamic whole bodiness. And what I'm saying that you have a better chance of putting this one in the hole when you throw it. And I think that's the extra looseness and what I said about, you know, it could hang over the hole and catch and fall. I felt like it had a better chance, you know, as you're throwing it and the bag's moving, that you're going to get the whole bodiness from it. As once it does settle, it is a little bit looser. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to get these pellets moving again and the weight of it moving again towards the hole than what it was with the 0 hour. I am going to give the nod for collectability to the 0 hour. I just feel that the bag is a little bit fuller. It was easier to collect. It's not a knock on the ground control. I did collect well with those. It's just that when you have that looser bag, it's going to be a little bit harder to pull those bags, you know, they're sitting off to the side because the material might bunch up on you and you might not grab it. I didn't really see that with the 0 hour, and it is also a little bit faster, so it was easier to get it moving again when you were going for that collect. And like I stated, if you did have some sitting real close to the hole, just a little bit of a bump got it to go in the hole with your bag as well. I want to give my opinion on playability, and I felt that the 0 hour, that is a hole runner's bag, and it is very, very good at it. It is forgiving enough that it's going to slide straight, so it's easy just to put the bag straight into the hole. It is fast enough also, and with it being a little bit fuller, it's kind of like a bully bag, so if there is some blockers there or whatnot, you just run into those, plow through it, take it with it, or you know, bounce off, kick it off to the side, and you go in the hole. It was really, really good at, you know, just sliding straight or bullying things out of the way. I did struggle a little bit to shape shots with it for some reason, and I don't know why, because it is a fuller bag and it does have that mixed fill, so I should have been able to cut it better than what I was. Ground control, on the other hand, that's more of the hybrid dirty style game. It's a little bit larger, so it's going to be more intimidating on the board. And what I found was really good at it is just laying that third bag blocker, because you can run holes with it just as easy and put up that third bag blocker and screw up your opponent so they miss their fourth bag, and then you have the ability to clean the ground control up on your way in. Now, I don't want to sound like I'm knocking these bags by me saying that they weren't as active as I thought they were going to be. That's not a bad thing. They're good at what they are, and I guarantee other people are going to be able to do whatever they want with both of these series. It's just me, I found them better at running holes, and then the ground control, you know, laying a blocker every once in a while. You can find Rocket Bags at rocketcornholebags.com. If you go to their website, I really like how descriptive they are on their bags. When you pull up the series and go below, and you can read about the fill and the materials and play, and you can do all that and get their opinion on them. They do have a Facebook page, and that's just at Rocket Cornhole Bags. So get on there, give them a like and a follow, and you can keep up to date with Rocket Cornhole Bags. Availability, both series seem to be available on the website. I know the ground control, it only has a couple colorways in a design, but 0 hour, there is a few more designs of it in a few different colorways. So you do have options for both series. Cost is another good thing about these series. They're both $69.99. That is a really good price for an ACO stamp bag. My overall thoughts on the bags, and like I stated very early on in the video, there's a lot of options for me to make shorts out of these two series, which doesn't happen very often like that. So they are great bags. They're also really good bags for beginners because of how forgiving they are and because they also both have some drip to them. But it's not just beginners. Experienced players, elite players, anybody is going to be able to excel with these bags, and especially by increasing their PPR. I can see why the 0 Hour is probably one of their most popular bags, but no pun intended, I think the ground control might take off and surpass the 0 Hour once it gets into the right hands. I just want to end this with, you're going to be average at something, be average at cornhole.